What's up guys, how you doing? Josh here from J Media with another awesome tutorial. This is actually the second tutorial to how to become a professional videographer series. So we're going to be talking about DSLR cameras. So let's get started. Let's talk about what kind of DSLRs are recommended for weddings and low light situations. Low light is a must. You must have a camera that performs very well in low light. You need to be as versatile as possible. And a wedding is basically the most surprising events to shoot because anything can happen and the lighting situations can be anything. You never really know 100% what the lighting situations are going to be at weddings and parties. So it's always good to have a camera that can shoot really well in low light. So what DSLR camera do I recommend that shoots really well in low light? Well, I use the 5D Mark II. Let's have a look at that camera. This is a Canon 5D Mark II. Beautiful, beautiful camera made out of magnesium alloy. It's one solid block of metal. And what I also really like about it is that it's so durable. I can shoot in the rain and this thing doesn't stall not one bit. It's a very well built camera, weatherproof camera. You know, they sealed everything up really, really well. This camera is a little bit old. It came out in 2008, so obviously there's newer DSLRs with better features and stuff like that. But this is the first DSLR that came out that shoots video, HD video actually. And Canon did a very, very nice job. Because you have a full frame sensor here, 35mm frame sensor, which is what they use in real cinema cameras, and this gets you awesome quality footage. So if I take this to a wedding, I won't have any problem with low light situations because this has a very large sensor, so it can absorb a lot of light. Not only can it absorb a lot of light, but it can produce awesome depth of field. And for those of you who do not know what depth of field is, it's basically when you take a picture or a video of somebody, the subject stays in focus and the background is blurred out. This really creates a cinematic effect, and it's used in a lot of different things, such as interviews and films actually. So depth of field is very important. And the cameras that produce the best depth of field are the ones that have full frame sensors, just like this Canon 5D Mark II. Now Canon came out with the 5D Mark III, which also has a full frame sensor, and it does even better in low light situations than the Mark II. But if you're looking to buy the Mark III, I would hold off for another 4 or 5 months until the Mark IV comes out, because the Mark IV is rumored to shoot in 4K resolution. But then again, the price might be very high. Now if you're a Canon user, beware that Canon's users, only 10% of them use the 5Ds as video cameras. So we're not 100% sure if the Mark IV will have 4K, but it'll be a really nice feature to have. It's been rumored that they're not going to have 4K and that they might have 4K. It's leaning more towards not having 4K because they want people to keep buying their cinema line cameras, not their photo cameras. Only 10% of Canon users buy these for video, and I happen to fall in that 10%. Another great DSLR that I love to shoot on is the Panasonic Lumix Gh3. That's the camera I'm shooting on right now. It's only $1,500 and it gets you awesome 4K footage, which means I can zoom up close without losing any resolution if I'm downgraded to 1080p. This is a huge deal for me because if I have a wide shot and I go and post and I really don't like the look of the wide shot, I have an option to bring in the shot tighter without losing any resolution, and that's fantastic, which is why 4K is the new generation and it's very important. I probably won't be ever outputting in 4K because I don't see the need. Why would anyone need to watch a video in 4K on their TVs if they can only go up to 1080p? I mean, if you do your research, not a lot of people even have HD TVs, so 4K is way before its time. 4K is usually just used for IMAX and for editors to have more options in editing, such as zooming in and making tighter shots. So 4K is really, really good for the editing purpose, but when it comes down to quality of the footage, 4K is just way before its time. We can wait probably up to 10 years before 1080p will be gone and 4K will be the new 1080p. One thing that you should know about the Panasonic Gh3, since I'm shooting on it, I can't really show it to you, but I'll do a review on it soon. Something you do need to know about the Panasonic Gh3, it does have a very tiny sensor, micro four thirds. However, it is still bigger than my Canon sensor, which is 1/3. This is my Canon video camera. I'm retiring it, I'm selling it, because I just don't need this hunk of metal anymore. I mean, it's a beautiful, gorgeous camera with a beautiful lens, servo zoom. Everything and anything is on this camera, you know, auxiliary inputs and all that stuff, which is why it's such an expensive camera. But I'm just getting bored of using it because it doesn't do well in low light, and I just haven't been using it as much as my 5D Mark II. So I decided to make the leap and buy the Panasonic Gh3 because it shoots in 4K and it behaves like a video camera. It has autofocus, it has histograms and stuff like that. So it's so important to, you know, to have a camera that behaves like a video camera and a photo camera, of course. And I think I have the best of both worlds with the 5D Mark II and having the Panasonic Gh3. I really will have no need for this video camera. I'll be honest with you guys, I never thought that I'd be buying a Panasonic. I never liked Panasonic. Their cameras never really did it for me when it came to quality. However, this new Gh3, beautiful, beautiful camera. The lenses are extremely overpriced, but this is their new generation camera and they're going to be releasing lenses, and once the camera gets older and older, I'm assuming that the lenses will drop a little bit in price to make it a little more affordable. But then again, you can also wait for the 5D Mark IV. My guess is going to be around $3,500 to $4,000 when it comes out, and it might or might not shoot 4K, we don't know yet, but we definitely know it's coming out next year, probably around the summertime. Do I recommend Nikon cameras for video? No way. No, don't go for Nikon if you're a videographer. Canon, Panasonic. You want to go with the cameras that come from companies that specialize in making video cameras. Canon has its own production company, Panasonic has its own production company. So they know how to build video cameras, which is why I go with those companies. Even Sony is a great video camera company, so Sonys are great. Eventually, I might buy the new Sony a7S because it is a full frame camera. It outputs in 422 4K resolution only when you use a recorder, an external recorder, which is, you know, I like to be more mobile, but we'll see how that goes. But internally, it outputs 1080p. The Panasonic, I love that it just outputs 4K internally, so that's fantastic. And the quality is superb and it runs off of an SD card. So it's really great, and the battery life is fantastic. Unlike the 5D Mark II, where in video mode the battery can last like an hour, hour and a half, this baby lasts 3 to 4 hours, which is like my XF305, and that's phenomenal. I've never seen a DSLR that has such amazing battery life. Now guys, it's really, really important that you understand that I'm trying to teach you guys all these secrets because I have nothing to hide. I learned all of this by myself. I only took a few film courses, and all those film courses taught me to do was how to frame a shot properly or light a scene better. My lighting is weak. I'm not the best lighter, but I want to be a professional director of photography. So I'm teaching myself how to light scenes properly. I got very, very good at it. Obviously right now the light's not great because I don't have any lights on right now, the sun's coming in. I don't really, for interviews or for tutorials specifically on YouTube, I don't really light up my scenes. I just make sure that my face and the subjects that I'm holding are seen perfectly. But for music videos and stuff like that, my lighting has gotten so much better. And I bought a really, really thick textbook, you know, Filmmaking 101, and it teaches you all about 3-point lighting. You got 3 big light for interviews specifically. You have your backlight, you have your key light, you have your fill light, all that stuff. I would love to teach you guys all about that because I've really, really learned a lot, and I think it's time for me to pass the torch to you guys and show you how lighting works, especially lighting night shoots, which is very, very important. We'll talk about filters and all that kind of stuff and what lights I really recommend using. How did I learn all these things? Easy. Forums and YouTube. That's it. How did I learn to become a master at Steadicam operation? There weren't a lot of videos on YouTube on how to properly balance a Steadicam, so I did trial and error, trial and error. I've had days where 4 or 5 hours I would spend trying to balance a camera on a Steadicam. But eventually, out of hours and weeks and weeks and weeks spent on practicing, I perfected it. And now I know the tricks and tips to teach you guys so you don't have to spend all that time learning how to use a Steadicam. A Steadicam should be beautiful and easy to use and not difficult. And I went through hell and back to understand how these Steadicams work. Now I know how they work, I can balance it within 30 seconds. And if you guys check out my Steadicam review and tutorial videos, you will understand how simple it is. And I just want to be here to educate you guys on how this stuff works, because I went through hell and back to learn this stuff, and I wish I had videos like this learning all this stuff, but it was really difficult to find high quality videos that taught me a lot of things about these cameras. So please, if you have any questions, comments, email me or comment below and I will be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. I would love to have any recommendations for new tutorials, anything, please. Sliding, jibs. I don't have any jibs currently, but if I get a sponsor, I would love to do a tutorial about how to operate a jib. I do know how to operate jibs. I've done it a few times on weddings, so I would love to show you guys how that works. I never personally needed a jib. I just mount my slider on a tripod angled up like this, and I use that as somewhat of a jib. But a 20-foot jib, I would love to show you guys how that works, but I just don't need one currently for what I'm doing. But if you're shooting a festival piece, you definitely might want to consider using a jib. And if I get sponsored and they send me over a jib, I would love to do a review and tutorial on how to use a jib. And also, Lang did sponsor me for one of their videos, and I was so happy that they sent me over a demo version of one of their Steadicams, and I would love to review their vest systems as well, if they get the chance to send me one. So guys, please stay tuned for more tutorial videos. I have some more stuff I gotta shoot and show you, so please stay tuned, comment and email me because I'm here to help you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.